Hi, this is Ellen with Spiritually Intuitive Readings, and I'm going to talk about a topic that is very popular, especially on Facebook, and it's probably popular on YouTube. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get it out there and discuss it. And that topic is about narcissists and empaths. And there is some misconceptions with it. One of the misconceptions I want to bring up is this, because there's a lot of things about karma and drawing these people to you that maybe spirit brought them in your life to teach you a lesson. A spirit doesn't put abusers in your path. I think that's very important to get that misconception out of the way. That is not what spirit does. Spirit does not want you abused. Spirit does not want you verbally abused or physically abused. And I'll deal with that in some of my other videos when I get more in the informative. But what actually draws, a narcissist to an empath is when they have within their own subconscious self, maybe some unresolved issues, areas that need healing, areas that need growth. Maybe there's some kind of immaturity, not to put the blame on them, but there is just areas that need to be developed and need to be a little bit stronger. If there's a certain semblance of weakness in there, then they're just food for a narcissist. And when they come along, they can easily be manipulated and easily be taken advantage of. So there is a phenomenon. There is a phenomenon. Narcissists are very drawn to empaths because they're also, they feed off them. They feed off their energy. The empath is here giving love and affection and doing everything for them. They may even be buying them gifts and just doing all things to show they care about them. And narcissists, what you need to understand, have no empathy. I think most of the public knows that. They do not feel in the same way. They don't feel things like love and affection and all that stuff. They might have a hint of it. There might be a little teeny weeny hint of it. But for the most part, they don't really feel love and affection. So they can be drawn together because the empath they are, for all intents and purposes, a healer. There is highly sensitive persons that are sensitive, and they can feel other people's emotion. What makes the empath a little different is they do all that. They're highly sensitive. They feel emotion, but they absorb emotion. This is what makes them a healer. If somebody has a lot of negative emotion or even physical pain, they can even pick up physical pain, sometimes even illnesses if they're really powerful, and they can absorb that. And then, of course, if they are developed, they know how to send it down to earth, get rid of it, purge all that from them. And they have healed that person. That is what they're built for. That's what they're meant to do. That's their nature. They will try to attempt to do things like this with the narcissist when they encounter them. What draws the empath to the narcissist is now empaths are very introverted. They're kind of into themselves. They can be a little bit shy. They don't always want to get around with a lot of people. But then you've got this narcissist, and they're very charismatic. They can come across very attractive. They can say all the right things. They're smooth talkers. And I know some of my empaths that are watching are going, oh my God, yes, he was. And don't get me wrong, women can be narcissists too. So if I do refer as men, please forgive me. But very smooth talkers, saying all the right things. And they will be real good in the beginning. They're real good at wearing a mask. That is one of the things that's very critical to understand. Real good at wearing a mask and telling you everything you want to hear. But the empath is a donkey. And the narcissist holds a carrot in front of the donkey's nose. And the donkey will keep going after the carrot. You've probably heard of this before. They will keep going, but the carrot keeps moving. And the donkey never gets the carrot. The carrot represents love and affection and commitment and all the good things that the narcissist may kind of promise to give but never quite gives. It's because they don't know how. And they really, to be honest, have no intent of giving that to the empath is what they need to understand. Another thing is like the empath may fall in love with the narcissist because they see that divine spark within. Now, we all have a divine spark within, but a narcissist, they're not in touch with that part of themselves. They're not in touch with the sensitive spirit side and the empathy and all that. They may project and they may act like a spiritual person. Here's the mask, but they're not that kind of a person whatsoever. And everything, they're like the sun, and everything revolves around them. They put themselves on a pedestal, and heaven forbid anybody tries to knock them off that pedestal. But the empath is always going to want to heal the narcissist. There's always going to be a dream. If I can get them to heal, if I can get them to fall in love with me, if I can get them to see just how much I love them, this could be a perfect union. That's always in the back of the mind. Now, the thing is, the narcissist knows that's the empath's dream, but they, of course, know that they are never going to fulfill that dream whatsoever. But they'll keep that carrot in front of the donkey for as long as possible. They'll keep that going forever, but they're never going to give them the carrot. Verbal abuse, physical abuse. Now, that's the part that gets really dangerous. There is a breaking down process of the spirit. This is what these people do. This is what you empaths need to understand. Their whole prerogative is to break your spirit. And this is why you've got to get out. And I'm hoping if any of the empaths who are in a relationship like this, if you see this, you have to understand you can't heal them. You can't cure them. They don't want to change. They think everything is just fine with them. Matter of fact, with empaths, everything is the empath's fault. Their anger, if they get angry about something, it's your fault. If the house is not clean, it's your fault. If they got a flat tire, it's your fault. Everything is your fault. Everything they feel, any kind of negative emotion, is your fault. And they will punish you for all of that. That is what they're going to do, and they're going to continually break down your spirit. Verbal abuse. And one of the things is, even in the 4 agreements, when Don Miguel Ruiz speaks about, the negative things that people say to other people, they're like seeds that plant in the mind. And over time, seeds take root, and they get all tangled, and they tangle within the mind. And so there's this breaking down process where the empath is just going to have no self-esteem, no sense of self-worth. And with that breaking down process, they're just going to be so incredibly dependent on the narcissist for any kind of, good kind of saying, like, hey, you did a good job on those dishes, just any kind of positive feedback. They're just hungry for it, is the way this relationship will be. I once met a woman, it was many, many years ago online. She was in a divorce support group, and she was married to a narcissist. She didn't know that. She wasn't real aware. They had their problems, but she wasn't really aware, what she was dealing with, what kind of monster really lied beneath him. And one day she was going through the dresser, and she found a letter. And written on that letter was all kinds of, it was a strategic list, similar to what, people would use on prisoners of war to break their spirit. Mental techniques to break them down into submission, all kinds of techniques. And it was just a long list. And when she read that list, she realized what she was dealing with. She realized the kind of monster that she had married. And it was that day that she packed and left. And that's what empaths need to do. Once you realize you're dealing with this kind of person, you've got to get out of it before they damage you. I don't think you realize the damage that they're going to put you through if you don't get out of it. But there is just a chipping away process, and you don't want to be completely ripped of your soul and then spend the next 10, 15 years trying to dig yourself out of that grave that they put you in and nearly destroyed you. But that is, what they do, that ultimately is to break your spirit. But, there is always hope, sure, maybe some may find their way out of there and heal. Obviously, they're very wounded people and something went wrong in their life. But the empath, you cannot fix these people. That is the thing you need to get through your mind. It is time to fix yourself. It is time to go into the subconscious self and really deal with the phenomenon of what attracted this person to you. I'm not blaming you, but there is something unresolved in you that drew them like a magnet, and where you accepted them into your life and allowed them to do this to you, that is what you've got to face is, why did I let this happen? You have to do that because you don't want to do that again. And you want to heal so you can be in a true loving relationship with someone who reciprocates your love and affection with you, where it's, give and receive, and it's not just you're doing all the giving and they're doing all the taking. This is, what drains you. And, it's beyond the energy vampire. And I'm going to talk about energy vampires eventually. It goes above and beyond the energy vampire in a relationship like this, especially the crippling that they do mentally and emotionally and spiritually to you. So I hope that explains a little bit of the process of the phenomenon. Like I said, spirit is not putting these people in an empath's past to teach them lessons. This is not necessarily a lesson that people need to learn. They really don't. The lesson that they need to learn is, oh, I see this coming. Here's all the red flags. I must have self-respect. I must know my sense of self-worth. I must love myself, that I'm not going to allow somebody to treat me that way. I'm not going to be the donkey chasing the carrot for any guy or girl. I'm not going to do that. I am better than that. And that is where you need to get. Everybody needs to get. That is where you're going to spiritually grow and you're going to get stronger. That is what you need to do. So I hope that helped give a little bit of information, and look for some other topics I'll be dealing on. I may address this one again. I may go a little bit deeper, but that's pretty much the crux of the narcissist and empath phenomenon.